Hello everyone, so I welcome you all in today's video. So today we are going to discuss the summary of Unit 10 of IEFS Module A, and the topic name is Climate Change Sustainable Development Goal. It is a very important chapter of Module A, so let's start discussing. First of all, let's talk about the climate change. You know that we are going through a lot of climate change, like the increased heat waves, like the droughts, like the floods, and because of this, there are permanent climate change that have been happening throughout the globe. And to address this problem, 193 parties in 2022, plus the European Union, they actually declared and communicated the first national determined contribution, in which they just recommend some changes from their side to reduce this climate change impact, because these climate change are all happening because of the development which has been done throughout the world, because of the carbon dioxide emission, greenhouse gases effects, and because of this the climate change has permanently happened throughout the globe. And to reduce this, every country has committed some of their goals in this national determined council, or you can say contribution, in April 2022. Next, when we are talking about this, then we have to limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, because what the current rate of carbon dioxide emission which was happening, due to which the ozone layer is depleting, and if the same rate continues, the global temperature raised by 2 degrees Celsius. So we have to limit it to 1.5 degree Celsius, right? Next thing is, for this there are different sustainable development goal which has been identified, and one of the major sustainable development goal is the climate change, which is the 13th sustainable development goal. So currently we have 17 sustainable development goal. First is no poverty, then zero hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. Then we have the industry and innovation, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities. Sorry. Then we have responsible consumption and production. Then we have climate change, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, a strong institution, and partnership for the world. So these are the 17 identified sustainable development. When we are talking about the list, I have given you the list here, the 17 sustainable development goal. Before the 17 sustainable development goal, we have millennium development goals, right? And after that, sustainable development goals has been started with a time frame of 2016 to 2030. And this has been set up by United Nations General Assembly. Now, some of the global issues currently which we are facing, and the initiative to solve that global issues. Like, for example, climate change, for which we have the Paris Agreement, poverty and inequality, for which we have the Sustainable Development Goal, global health, for which we have Global Fund, food security and hunger, for which we have World Food Program, water scarcity, for which we have UN Water Action Decade, education, for which we have Global Partnership for Education, gender equality, for which we have Women He for She campaign, international security, we have NATO, biodiversity, we have Convention on Biological Diversity, then mental health, we have World Health Organization. So these are the different issues which the world is currently facing, and these are the initiatives to solve that particular issue. Clear? Now, next, when we are talking about the India and their commitment to Sustainable Development Goal 13, so Sustainable Development Goal 13 is all about the climate change. So obviously, India has committed some of the important commitment by themselves to achieve for this climate change sustainable development goal. So when we are talking about the India has committed five Panchamarit, which is called as Panchamarit. So, five commitment of India towards combating the climate change. First, India has to achieve net zero emission of all the greenhouses gas by 2070. Then we have to achieve 500 gigawatt non-fossil energy capacity by 2030. Then we have to fulfill 50% of our energy requirement by year 2030. Then India will reduce the total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton till 2030. And by 2030, India reduce the carbon intensity by less than 45%. Right? So these are the five commitment of India towards combating the towards combating the climate change, right? Now next, when we are talking about the bank and the climate change, so when we are talking about the bank and climate change, first of all, let's talk about the bank. Bank has a key and role and responsibilities again towards combating the climate change. And what is the role of the bank when we are talking about the role of a particular bank? First of all, thing is the bank should lend responsible lending, and bank should support those projects which are environmentally sustainable projects, right? So by green finance, banks should support all the projects which are there established for the sustainable environment, plus which are there for combating the climate change, right? So this is the bank commitment toward the climate change. Now, green finance, one of the very important topic is green finance. Green finance means providing finance and credit support, especially to those projects which are environmentally sustainable projects. Like for example, you have to set up solar, wind, biogas, clean transportation, lower the greenhouse gas emission, energy efficient project, green building, waste management, etc. So for this, we have the green finance. Just okay, sorry. So green finance, we were talking about the green finance. So green finance are the financial arrangements which are actually providing credit support and credit loan facilities, especially to those projects which are environmentally sustainable project. Like for example, you have to set up the solar, wind, biogas, clean transportation, waste management, etc. So for all these purposes, we are providing you the green finance, right? Now, when we are talking about the Government of India supporting the green finance, RBI is supporting the green finance. When Government of India has talked about, if you want to set up a solar rooftop panel for your residential, right, for your residential power, then for this, the government is offering 70% subsidy on the installation cost. And this is to support the solar rooftop panels, right? And in some cases, the subsidy caps goes up as high as 70%. And how Reserve Bank of India is supporting the green finance, they have listed this in the priority sector lending target. Clear? So these are some of the commitment in green finance by the bank as well as by the government of India and by Reserve Bank of India. Like the green finance, we have a green bonds also. Now, what are green bonds? Green bonds are issued by the issuer, where whatever the fund which is collected from this bond is utilized only for those projects which are environmentally sustainable project. Clear? So when we are talking about the green bonds, so green bonds are those bonds, especially these are those group where when we are talking about the group which are issuing the green bonds, and when people are investing in green bonds, being purchasing the green bond, whatever the money they are getting, that money is utilized only for those projects which are environmentally sustainable project. And India started issuing green bond in 2015, right? Now, next is corporate social responsibility. One of the most important topic of this chapter, corporate social responsibility. First of all, Section 135 of Companies Act, it provides a legal support for corporate social responsibility. And in India, the company, there is mandation, this is mandatory, that company has to spend at least 2% of their net profit in the corporate social responsibility every year. But now the companies are free. There is simple, you can say, liberalization which has been done in this clause, and it is that now the companies are free to spend more than 2% in the corporate social responsibility, and if they have done this in any year, the extra which they have spent will be adjusted toward their future obligations, right? Now, if you are not fulfilling this, so there is a penalty of rupees 1 crore for the defaulting company and 2 lakh for each defaulting officer. Earlier, there was a penalty of imprisonment. The defaulting officers was sent into jail for a period of 6 months or more than that. But now it has been replaced by the monetary penalty of rupees 2 lakh. Clear? So this is the complete chapter. I hope that you have all understood this chapter completely. The most important part of this chapter is the corporate social responsibility, green bonds, green finance, and the 17 sustainable development goals, right? So thank you so much. Thank you. Have a very nice day. Take care. Bye bye, guys. Bye, everyone. Take care.